Hi, this is Jessica with Real Talk. Today we are grilling the expert. We have Gregory Mata here with Greg. What is your business name?
It's not the business name, but that's what everybody knows.
He's known as Greg the Roofer, right?
Yes, yeah, that's what everybody.
Don't call him Gregory unless you're his mother. And even then, Mom, please don't. So we're talking to him today about the roofing process, what he does, and a lot of the questions that people like me don't know. If you don't know, I'm getting a roof with Greg, so that'll add a little context for you guys. So let's get started. How did you get into this business?
Just searching through Facebook. Not really looking for work, but found it.
And Facebook is like the way of the world now. Like everything's there. So you found something on Facebook. You went and got into it. What was that avenue? Were you actually roofing at that point, or?
Just production, overseeing jobs and.
Oh, okay.
Collecting paperwork, talking to homeowners, being a smiling face.
So overseeing everybody, keeping everybody in line, that kind of thing.
Yes.
And so now that's not what you're doing anymore. What is it that you do now? What is your title? What is it?
Yours truly is just a consultant. Is a nice way of putting it.
Okay. So.
A sales consultant, if you will.
You're almost the realtor of roofs.
Yes.
There you go. Look at that. I'm always with realtors in some capacity or another. Now, how long have you been in?
It's been 7 years. 2016 was when I started.
7 blissful years?
Yes, for sure. I think so, yeah.
That's awesome. I have family in the roofing industry, and as many of them that have kind of gravitated into it after each other, it seems like a community where people enjoy being in it. Like I can imagine, just from my own projects that I've done, that there's a lot of gratification and going from this, totally dilapidated roof to, the shining, beautiful, product that you guys put out there. When someone suspects that maybe they need a roof, they call you, right? And you come out and you do an inspection, right? Mm-hmm. So that's their first step. When they do that, what happens? What do you come out there and do? Do you do like a visual inspection from the street? You send a drone up there? What happens exactly?
Physical inspection, not so much a drone. I get there and walk the roof, walk the property, check the attic if homeowner's okay with that.
Okay, so you actually get on the roof.
Mm-hmm.
Like you climb up there, you're up there just kind of walking back and forth and just checking every single shingle.
Yes, for sure.
And okay, so let's say I'm like super shy, because I'm super shy, and I think, well, I don't need somebody to go out there and look for me. I can go up there and look myself. Would I know what I'm looking for?
Not necessarily. Not if it doesn't stick out like
a sore thumb?
Yeah. I mean, if you need to look for it, then you probably need to know what exactly it looks like. The indentions look different from everything else.
Definitely. Okay, so just so y'all know, he did an inspection on my roof and sent me pictures. And of course, we all want to see that visual proof of what's wrong, right? But I was looking at him and I was like, what am I looking at? I just see shingles. What is this here? But then I showed him to the adjuster, and the adjuster's all like, oh yeah, that is hail damage right there. And I'm like, how do they see this stuff? So what's, not even noticeable by the common eye is obvious to a trained eye. So it is super important for you to be the one to do the inspection on someone's roof, not somebody else, like the homeowner just hopping up there and, well, I gave it a good old one over and it's fine. That kind of thing. Who gets you out there for the inspection? Is it the insurance company, or is it the actual homeowner that has to reach out to you for your inspection particularly?
The homeowner or myself, if I'm in a neighborhood door knocking.
Oh, okay.
I'm out there on my own. But if a homeowner calls me, or even a realtor, they're the ones that get me to do the inspection.
Oh, that's nice. So you go walk around and just like see something from the street, and you're just like knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Hey, can I help up there? Because I see.
Yeah, and even if they're borderline, I still leave one, because in the event that they do need me, they'll eventually call.
What are the things you're looking for on the roof when you're looking for damage? I know we talked about those little pings from hail and stuff like that, but what other things show you that a roof is worn out beyond being a good measure of protecting the home?
Just bad accessories. Accessories if they're not painted, if they're dinged up.
What are the accessories, like the?
Just all the PVC pipes, all the vents.
Oh, okay, all that stuff.
And then there's some products that are newer, like ridge vent. If it doesn't have ridge vent, it typically tells you the house is probably around 7, 8 years old.
And I think I know what ridge vent is, but why don't you explain them what that is so I can know if I'm right or wrong?
The ridge vent is just what goes on the peak of the roof.
Okay, so the little.
Yeah, we just cut 2 inches on each side of it to allow airflow to go in.
Is that thing that kind of looks like a little mini roof on top of a roof? Oh, okay, so it has. So I'm assuming it has like a vent on.
Yeah, it's
the
got
sides
like an inch raised vent on each side.
And what is the purpose of that exactly?
Just to allow more airflow through the attic. Not really having to wait for the old school early birds to start working.
That would help here in San Antonio, especially.
Yeah, it's a cool off in the summertime. Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh, that's interesting. How long has that been around? Because
I think now it's been about 7, 8 years, maybe a little bit more.
oh, that's
it's not too
young.
old of a product.
Yeah. So there's probably a lot of homes that do need that. Nice. Yeah, I know when I see that on a roof, when I go, house touring, it's like, oh, look, it has that. It's so fancy. I don't know what it is or what it does, but it's so fancy. So that's cool. Now I know.
Yeah.
Now I'm educated. Averaging about how many home inspections or how many roofs do you hop on top of a month? How many?
A month, probably a solid handful. For inspections, about 5.
Oh, okay, cool. So, like with mine, he went up there, he found damage. What is the next step in the process after damage has been found?
Just getting a hold of the insurance, setting up the claim, either phone call or online, whatever the homeowner is convenient with or happy with.
How hard is that? Because it seems overwhelming when you talk about any kind of claim, right? Like, how much information am I going to have? What do I need to know when I'm filling out this form or calling them, whatever? How complicated is that process?
It's not too complicated, but it can be, I guess, just based on the insurance. But I mean, altogether, it's fairly easy if you have somebody that knows how to delegate the process.
Do you help with any of that part of it? Like, what can you do?
I usually just call it in with the homeowner.
So you just
call to,
okay. So you're really involved. Speaking of insurance companies, in your experience, what insurance companies would you recommend for, like, your mom is changing insurance companies, let's say, and you're like, Mom, this is the one to go with because they're amazing?
USA is probably the one that I was mentioning. USA and Farmers, State Farm, everybody has their different takes on them, but I feel like those are always on point with everything. Nationwide.
Pretty good integrity.
Yeah, like they actually, if there's something there, they're gonna at least try to help out, do their part at the very least.
Oh, that's good. That's good to hear that there's, a handful that are worthy of all the money they make. They do the right thing with that, all that cash flow. In the claim process, is there anything that a homeowner should be a little cautious about saying when they're speaking to the adjusters? Anything they should just, kind of plead the Fifth Amendment on?
Just talking about any prior claims. If there is any prior claims, they can figure that out on their own because they have record of all that. Not really bringing that up because if we're calling it in, it should be a new claim and it's everything from that point moving forward.
I see. Okay. And then I know with our claim, they kept asking us about the dates and then over the phone. And then when they came out, the gentleman who came to do the inspection for the insurance company, the adjuster, started mentioning another date, which is not the date that we gave him. And then even on his report, he put the other date and was like, well, there wasn't any storms on that date. And I was like, bro, that's not the date we gave you. So it felt as if they were kind of trying to say, like it didn't happen, So is that something people should kind of be like, just say, I don't know when it happened. I don't.
Or just have them
just
reach out to myself or whatever roofer they're using usually the roofers know the storm date. And they can always just ask us directly.
I see. I found it interesting that the adjuster was like at the house, because Greg actually came out when the adjuster came to do his visual inspection of the roof, and he was saying that he was going to check the database, the storm database or something like that. I didn't even know that existed, but apparently they can take your address and see exactly when any and all storms and how severe they were.
Yeah, how much how it fell down and
That's
all the
crazy.
details, yeah.
Did y'all know
But
that
not
existed?
not everything gets picked up. I mean, I've been in some houses where nothing showed, but they had legit damage.
Yeah.
So,
On the date that he actually said, wrongly, my husband had actually taken a video from that particular day of a huge storm at our house. So it was like, well, even if you use the date that you misassumed, there was still a huge storm.
Yeah.
Like, it was pretty rowdy. That's why he took a video of it, because it was bad.
yeah, and most of that stuff is just reported from like homeowners. So if nobody reports in your neighborhood,
Then
they may not
you
have
don't-
anything.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
so.
see. Well, that's interesting. So, to our viewers, did you know that there was a storm database that insurers use to check if, anything has happened at your home? Let us know in the comments. After we get through the stuff with the insurance, and let's say they approved it, yay, you are going to be able to get a new roof and they're going to pay for it. Then a lot of homes now have HOAs, and the HOA requires, to have a form submitted requesting to be allowed to replace a roof. As crazy as that sounds. But like my HOA, we had to submit a form. Have you found that most HOAs are making people do that?
Yeah, it's pretty standard stuff. They just need to know basically the color and the type of shingle that you're putting on. And then I think you mentioned there's like a small fee.
Yeah, he
Um,
charges $25.
But
And
it's
those
pretty.
flyers, they said 3 to 5 business days, and we are on business day 9.
Yeah, sometimes
9.
it takes. They're probably got other roofs going on too. So.
Do you offer any assistance with making those HOA requests?
Yeah, if there's any info that the homeowner needs, they just ask us and I'll send it their way.
Yeah, I think the only thing we really needed from you was like your business name and the color of the shingle and type or something like that.
Yeah.
Everything else we had talked about it so much that it was like second nature to answer the question, so that made it pretty easy. So, random question, do you offer any other services to the community?
Yeah, free tarp ups for sure. Any other construction work, fencing, interior work that they may need.
Do all roofers do that kind of, like those extra things that you...
No, some just want to just do the roof and that's it.
They stick to strictly shingles?
Yes.
That's it. Shingles and tarp, that's all that they're, or not tarp, but what's the stuff underneath called?
The felt?
Oh, the felt, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I called it a tarp.
Essentially, that's what it is, though, underneath the shingle.
That's a good way to understand it, I think. Makes sense. Once my roof gets approved, is there just one set of guys or people that you work with that do the roofs, or do you have several different crews that you kind
there's
of
a handful of crews that I use for the installs.
Oh, I see. So you typically usually can get one going pretty quickly after it's approved.
Yeah, once it's approved, it's just a matter of days.
Do you have a favorite?
No.
You
They're all,
don't
no,
want-
they're all equally. Yeah, I do. They're all equally.
Oh,
Each one is
that's
as good as the other. For sure.
And how long have you been working with these crews?
Some of them it's been since I started, since 2016, and
Oh,
the
okay,
rest it's
wow.
been probably about 5-6 years, around there.
That's pretty good. That is a long relationship in construction. I feel like
Yes.
a lot of people that I know that are in construction, they kind of like jump around. Oh, this
2-3
is a better
years,
opportunity,
yeah.
better opportunity. They just keep moving around. And so 5 or 6 years is actually a good long while. That's
One
awesome.
of them, his son was like freaking 8 when I met him, and now he actually helps him on the roof.
Oh,
Being he's a little bit older, so
well, that's cool, man.
yeah. So they've been around a little while.
A little family affair. That's awesome. Yeah, my family is in California. That's what they do. They're all roofers, and they kind of like get each other into it and whatnot. So, so yeah, I can totally see that being the culture. It seems like that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Go out there talking to everybody about roofs. I mean, you're like the roof evangelist. So, have you come across any scams when you're out there talking to people? Like, you know, you start talking about the roof and they're like, oh no, you're one of those guys that does this or that.
Just handing straight up cash to somebody that you have no contract with or any
Wait,
kind of.
there's people out there that I can go ask for money and they're gonna just hand me money.
There is actually.
I'm not that kind of person. I'm a fiduciary, okay? So, word of the week. But for real, people have done that?
Yeah, I've only heard
like,
of like a hand.
Cash money.
Yeah.
They just had it.
Typically, it's people that live in Converse. That's where they tell me that happens.
Oh my gosh. Converse. Wake up. Watch out. Do not hand anybody cash. Have a contract. Pay with a check.
And a phone number, preferably to call someone.
Definitely. Wow.
Yeah, most of them have been in Converse. I think one guy was actually on the news about it. Somebody had
Really?
recorded him. Yep.
That is a trip. That makes my heart hurt a little bit. That, you know, because most of the time when you spend that kind of money, you don't have that kind of money just to do it another time. You know, so that's awful for people. But think everything in writing. I know you work here in San Antonio, probably mainly because this is where you're from, right?
Mm-hmm.
But is there any other areas that you work? Do you work South Texas, up north?
Yeah, I've gone to Houston, Del Rio Valley, Dallas a couple of times, but yeah, pretty much anywhere that anybody needs help, you just gotta call me and I will get out there.
Nice. That's very helpful and good to know, because I think everybody has somebody who lives in the outskirts of wherever, Timbuktu, right?
Yeah.
And so, you know, if I trust you, I'd rather send you if you're willing to go that distance, and that's pretty amazing that you're willing to go that distance. All right, so like we said, let's pretend everything's been approved on my roof, right? When your guys come out after all the approval process has been done, what kind of measures are done to protect my property, my landscaping, the walls, the pets, whatever? What are your guys doing to make sure that the property is in just as good of a condition, but better with a new roof when they leave as when they came?
For sure, we put tarps throughout the property, just to protect all the landscaping, like you said. Animals, they're usually either inside or at a dog daycare or just out of the way. They know when stuff is falling off the roof.
They're like, the sky is falling.
Yeah, and then we just dump out like on the driveway side to kind of keep everything minimized, all the mess.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I think I had a roof done at an old rental way more than 10 years ago, and yeah, there was like nails everywhere.
Yeah.
And I know that I saw them scan with a big magnet to pick up a lot, but oh my God, you guys, I mean, it was probably about 40 that didn't get picked up, and just for months and months we'd be out there and just be finding nails here and
Yeah,
there.
and after they
like,
finish the roof and clean up, I also go by and do my walkthrough just to try to avoid that. I mean, you're gonna find
yeah,
a
you can't get
handful
it.
of nails,
Yeah,
because you have 10,000 nails coming
It's
off
like
of a
a
roof. But yeah, I mean, if it's more than a handful,
needle in a haystack,
yeah.
literally, pretty literally, right?
We always ask the homeowner to cut the grass a couple of days before.
Oh,
That
okay,
way it
so it's
helps with
easier
that
to
too.
find.
Yeah.
That's a smart idea. And then put a bag on the lawnmower after, so that it'll catch the nails instead of shooting him at you, because that would suck. I mean, right in the shin. Not pretty. Now, once the work has begun, and let's say I have a question about something that's happening and just curious, whatever, is there somebody on site that I would speak to, or would it be you still that I'm
Yeah, if I'm on
communicating?
site, for sure, and even if I'm not there, I mean, homeowners call me throughout the day, and usually I'll send them pictures of the install if they're not home.
Oh, okay. So you come out during the installs. You're not there probably not the entire time, but you do actually come out.
Yeah, throughout the day, I get there just to get pictures, and like I said, if the homeowners aren't there, I'll send them pictures. That way they at least feel comfortable and know that this is how their house looks as it's going up.
Oh, that's nice. Because I would imagine you probably don't necessarily have to be there, but that's really cool that you go out there and do that. Be that set of eyes for the homeowner and make sure everything's working out well.
Yep.
Is there any home maintenance that people can do to improve the longevity of their roof? You know, maintenance or just anything that they can do to keep that quality high, keep it living its best life and longest life?
Yeah, just trimming the trees whenever they do get near the roof, obviously. And doing a yearly inspection. I mean, usually I tell homeowners even if there's a storm, I mean, I usually reach out to them and tell them, hey, I can check it out for you again just to make sure everything's good. Just cleaning the valleys out. I mean, just especially during the winter.
What are the valleys?
Just where the roof meets together, coming downwards where the water runoff is.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, just keeping those clear, never tree free, if you will, branch free.
Okay, so let's say my roof gets done and then in December we have a big hailstorm and you come out there and for whatever reason the hail was big enough to actually make some dents in those shingles. What would happen in that circumstance?
If we just re-roofed it, honestly, if it's a handful of shingles, we'll replace them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if it's something minor, we'll take care of it, and we've had to do that before. We had a lady that we did the roof, and I think within 2 weeks they had another storm.
Oh man.
But luckily we walked it, and there was really only like a handful of things that popped out, and so we went ahead and just fixed it at no charge.
And is that like a warranty thing or is that? Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, part of warranty.
How long is the warranty?
There's 3 warranties. It's the manufacturer warranty, which if it's a laminate like behind us, it's a 30-year. And then we have our 5-year workmanship warranty. So for 5 years, once we get done, if something's wrong, if it leaks, just give me a call. And then most shingles have the AR warranty, which is the algae resistant warranty.
Oh,
The
okay.
discoloration. They guarantee for the first 10 years that it'll keep its color.
I had no idea there was such a thing as an algae warranty. There's so many jokes I can make with that. I'm sorry. But I'm not gonna go there. I'm gonna be a nice person today. No algae here, okay? I'm gonna keep it all clear. Sorry. So sorry. Thank you for putting up with me. Goodbye. Anyhow, let's say my neighbor, is like, well, I don't even know if I need an inspection, right? What are some telltale signs that maybe your roof has some damage? What kind of things should they be keeping their eye out for to know whether or not it's the time to call Greg?
The one time for sure is if the neighbor's getting a roof.
That's a good point.
That's what I tell homeowners. If we're doing the house next door, then you probably at least, you should have it looked at, and there's no cost for it, so it doesn't hurt for me to jump up there and get you some pictures. A lot of homeowners I know think that I'm just looking for more work, but if it's fine, I've had that happen where it looks fine, and I'm like, hey, everything's good. Just keep my card, and if it's needed, it's needed. If it's not, it's not. There are some good roofs out there that I've looked at.
Okay, so let me get this straight. You just said that you don't charge anything to do an inspection on a roof.
Mm-hmm.
You just go out there and give it a real good looking over and...
Yeah, I just do it for
let them know.
exercise. Just get up on the roof and get the ladder out.
This is workout for the day. Done. Yes. For me, one of the things that I saw that, well, for one, there was this bad storm, and then for two, anytime it would rain, we would get like these piles of the little granules. Yeah, so much so my 4-year-old would scoop them up and like, look, Mom, I got you shiny little rocks. Here, take them. And I'm like, oh no, it's okay, you can put it back. And he's like, no, take them. Take a pile of fluffy granules, and I was like, what the heck? Like, why is so much coming down? Is just the sticky part wearing out, and so they're all just
over time the shingle breaks down, and then if we get tons of rain, like it doesn't rain a lot, but when it does, so it breaks it. Yeah, it breaks it down quite a bit.
Okay, so that would be another telltale sign.
Mm-hmm.
And then what about those roofs? Sometimes, since we're mentioning algae or whatever, but sometimes you see these streaks on the roofs, and I think somebody has told me before that it's mold or mildew or...
Yeah, it's
maybe
a
algae. I don't
yeah,
know.
it's a mixture of all that.
Does that do anything to the roof, or is that just like a
It
normal
starts
way
to-
that it starts to look after a while?
I mean, it starts to look that way after a while, but it starts to break the shingle down.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, all that plays a factor into why the granules start coming down
I
after the
see.
rainwater.
Because mold is something that breaks things down, so that makes sense. I mean, you know, common sense just ain't common sometimes. I'm doing a great job of making myself look really smart right now. Telling you guys. 2 questions. Do you do the forever metal roofs, and do you roof mobile homes?
The metal, I try to stay away from. I don't.
What? You don't like the forever roof?
No, it's not.
Forever.
It's forever looking bad after a while. I don't like them. I mean, we do them. I mean, if that's what you want, we do it. But it's not something that you can get the same kind of lifetime out of that and the laminate. At least on the laminate, it looks nicer. Versus once you get hell on metal, it just starts to look bad. You
Has
start
all
to
those
see all the
little pits
ripples.
and everything.
Yeah.
Do what insulates or helps keep the house cooler? Is it the metal over the shingle? Which one, or do you know?
I mean, honestly, if you have the ventilation that you should have, they should be the same. I mean, if you have the soffit
okay.
vent and you have your ridge vent, it's gonna,
Oh, I see.
yeah, it's gonna work out. They have, I mean, other things that can be put underneath that, which is the radiant barrier, which is a decking.
Oh, okay.
So there's other things you can add to it to maximize it, but if it's just standard, yeah, I mean, it's gonna come across the same way,
Okay.
whether it's metal or
Gotcha.
shingle.
That makes sense. What is the kind of price difference between the two? Just out of curiosity.
From the shingle to the metal now, it's about getting close to 4, but for sure 3 times as much.
For the metal?
Yeah, to go from shingle to metal.
3 times as much.
Yeah.
And then it looks all pretty. It looks pitiful.
It does. It looks. I think it looks horrible. I've only installed like a handful just because homeowners that have asked after we've gone through everything, they're like, yeah, I don't want to do it then.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And then we do manufactured homes, mobile homes, and anything that needs a roof.
Doghouse,
Yes.
shed. Yeah, he's doing my shed because I did my shed the first time, and so he's gonna do it right. Well, I didn't do it by myself. Okay, me and my father did. So I don't want y'all thinking like you know,
And it was a
something else,
decent job. I want to be sure and keep saying that.
Oh, thank you. It made me have even more respect for roofers because I already did. I was look at these guys; they're like way up there, and you know they're marching around like it's flat ground, like no big deal. You're freaking me out. Like you got to be Spider-Man or Superman or something just to be up there doing this, you know. But then we did this little shed, like lower than the lowest part of our roof, and I'm like dripping buckets of sweat, and I'm like, God, how do people do this? And then the heat from underneath my tennis shoes was just like, I felt like my feet were like,
fire.
Yeah, it was so hot. I was like, how come people don't know that is a thing that is part of the elements of being up there? It was horrible, you know. And
that's usually why the guys
crazy.
they'll take a break a couple of times throughout the process.
As they should.
Because your feet feel like they're on fire, especially if it's a 2-story and it's the middle of summer.
Ugh, I can't even imagine. I have a lot of respect for them. Anyhow, moving along. So tell us about yourself. Tell us about Greg, aside from roofing. Where are you from?
From San Antonio, the south side.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes,
Me too.
I went to South San.
You a family guy?
Yes, big family guy. I'm very boring. I just like to be around my family and work and go home and cook dinner.
Oh,
And
that's
watch
nice.
TV and go to sleep.
watch the Cowboys.
No.
Your favorite
Well,
team
yeah, I
ever?
watch them when I need to go to sleep for sure.
You just sleep. Oh my God! You don't want to alienate the Cowboys fans.
No, I try to help them too. Usually
You
those
forgive
with,
them of their sins, and you're gonna help them.
I need all the help for sure.
Jeez, it's really true though. I mean, especially after last week.
But I'm a Viking fan and we're horrible too, so.
Oh, okay. Well,
I
we're
get
gonna be
it.
horrible.
That's why I
Let's all be
sympathize
horrible
with
together.
them. Yes, that's why I sympathize with you guys.
All right. So, do you have any hobbies, or is roofing's your hobby?
Yeah, no, helping people is truly. I've helped people even, like I said, not if they didn't need a roof, you know, if they need anything with, interior work, fencing, like I said, different things. I mean, some people just don't need a roof, but they need, other kind of work done at the house, and I've helped them out.
Yeah, I mean, when you did our inspection at our house, you were like, there's some siding issues here that we didn't even see before, So I was like, wow, thank you, because, sometimes you just don't know what you need to know or what you should even be looking at,
Yeah.
And so that was really, really nice. I was very impressed by that. I mean, he just really looked over the house really well, just to make sure that if there was anything that the insurance may cover, that we benefit from that. I mean, we're paying into the insurance, right?
Yeah, you've already paid for all that essentially.
Why not use the service of what it's supposed to be providing instead of just
Yeah.
waiting until there's a huge problem? I think people are waiting for the leaf to, the leaf.
Mhm.
I think they're waiting for the roof to leak through the ceiling before they think they need a roof, but
Yeah.
that's not the case. If it's even just getting to the point where it's kind of getting rough and could be
Yeah, and
potential
not a
problem.
lot of people know it, but I mean, sometimes I talked to a friend yesterday who her mom needs help with the roof, and she wanted to wait, and sometimes waiting doesn't help because then the insurance will start to hold the depreciation, then you'll lose depreciation if you wait too long. So waiting isn't always the best thing.
See, I don't know that. I don't think everybody knows how their insurance even works.
No.
So they're just like, oh, just wait till it's a real obvious problem. Then how can they deny it? Well, because you waited too long, right? And
Yep.
they said, hey,
Yeah,
this
they'll
is,
tell you that you crossed that threshold of.
yeah.
Because really, if you read your paperwork, it says you should make them aware every time you have any kind of
Oh,
storm. So if you don't, then they, I guess, really in reality, they can always
Wow.
tell you, well,
they
you
need to
didn't
give like
report
a FAQ sheet of like how to behave with your insurance, right?
Yeah.
That would be kind of nice. What is the worst thing you've seen on a roof inspection? And like literal holes through the.
I always
ceiling?
find, not always, but here and now and again, I find bullets up on the roof.
Oh my God, some bullets, yeah.
Yeah.
Better on the roof than in somebody's head. That's what I always say, anyways.
Yeah, I've seen bullets up there. Crazy things, tires. I've seen tires.
I was on the south side.
Toys. I always see toys, kids' toys that they're throwing up in the air. Dead animals, carcasses. A lot of
Ooh.
droppings. Yeah.
Fireworks, I bet.
Anything that you can find on the ground, you can find on the roof, for sure.
I'm gonna think about that later. It's gonna mess with me. Anything you can find on the ground, you can find on a roof.
You can, for sure.
Alright. So any big dreams? Are you trying to be like the world's greatest roofer or something like that, or inspector? Or what are your dreams? Tell me about them.
Just to get old and just chill with my wife at the beach and get a call from my kids if they're good, and that's about it.
That's awesome. Is that your
Not too
wife's
much.
dream too? She loves the beach?
She does. That's why it's mine. Yeah.
Oh, you adopted your
I
dreams.
do. I adopt all her stuff.
That's usually what good men do. Follow this guy, adopt your wife's dreams, and you'll live a happy wife, happy life. It's like the truth. So, we have this back here. So just to let y'all know, after our inspection and after the insurance approved us getting a new roof, Greg came by, he brought us a bunch of samples of the roof's shingles that our particular HOA allow us to have the whole 2 whopping colors that look almost exactly the same. And he gave us a couple different brands that we're allowed to have by the HOA. And so we could see them in person and whatnot. So this is the one we picked. It's called Weathered Wood because that's what the HOA would allow. I'm gonna keep throwing that in there. Dang HOA. I'd do a black roof if I could. That'd be cool. But yeah, I mean, I thought that was pretty cool, to see it in person and touch it and be able to oh, there's blue in there? I had no idea there was blue. The other one had red in it. I had no idea there was
Every
reds in there.
homeowner says that. Yeah,
It's
every
crazy.
shingle has like 7 or 8 colors mixed in.
But yeah, but it even tells you about it, just like a sample card would. So that's pretty cool. So anyways, wanted to bring that up to y'all. And the next part of our process is that once the HOA approves, then he's going to go ahead and get a crew out there. And how long does it take once they get started to get done?
A basic roof here in San Antonio takes about a day and 4 hours for sure.
Shut up. A day and 4 hours.
Yes, they have it down pretty much to a science, I think.
Wow, that's amazing. That's like really, truly amazing. Well, I can't wait to. That's nuts to me. They want to get off that hot roof. That's what happened.
Yeah, they start early and they try to get up there by 6:30, 7:30. And the hardest part is taking off the old roof. After that, it's pretty easy.
One last question. Since you've been in the roofing industry and all your different roles that you've done, about how many roofs have you been a part of replacing? Would you say?
Probably a shade over 1,000 altogether, repairs and full installs.
1,000 roofs. That's a really big number, man.
I feel like it's low, but it is.
Really?
It is a big. Yeah,
That's a big number. That's 10 100s. Y'all know that, right?
a lot, but it's not. It'll be more for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just seeing the way that you care for people, I think that you're on the right trajectory to continue growing those thousands of roofs. But that's really cool. That's really congratulations. I think that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us today. This has been Grilling the Expert Moment with Greg Mata, also known as Greg the Roofer. Y'all should call him just call him and have him inspect your roof. Even if you just need a little bit of something done to it, it's better to do that up front and to know where you're at. Nothing scary about him. He's a great guy. He's gonna take care of your home. So have him come out and check things over, and it'll be, to your benefit. Is there anything you want to add as we say goodbye?
No, I'm good. Thank you for the time.
Yeah, definitely. Can you give our viewers your contact information?
Oh yeah, so my number is 210-887-8972, and then the email is just greg_mata@yahoo.com.
Okay. All right. Thank you for viewing. Like, share, comment, and let us know your thoughts below. If you've had a crazy experience getting your roof done, share it with us. That would be kind of interesting to hear. I think there's a lot of mystery in this thing. People want to wait until things are really bad before they do anything. It's just not the right way to go. So let's be proactive and take care of our homes here in the San Antonio area and beyond. This is Jessica with Coldwell Banker Dan Harper Realtors signing off. Bye.